And now, The Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Man, oh man, if we aren't whitening up Black Lou, he gets so excited for that song. I love it. I love it, everybody. It's The Bonfire, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. I'm Big J. Oakerson. Dan Soder's off filming the finale, I believe. We're at the finale now of Billions. The ultimate thing, right? This is where Paul Giamatti finally makes first contact with the spaceship. Oh. And then we find out that Axe the entire time has been from another planet. Spoiler alert! Sitting in for Dan today, two favorites here on The Bonfire. Mike Fenoya joins us.
Yo! What's up? What's up?
And also Dante Nero hanging out.
What's up? What's going on?
Flavor in your ear.
Now, little known fact. I wanted to have you in today, Dante, because Soder wasn't here. Because Soder, and I'll say it, even though I know he's not listening, hates the callers. He hates the listeners and he hates the callers. He doesn't want anything to do with them. He doesn't want to hear any of their bullshit.
He does.
And Dante, you've carved a nice little niche out for yourself.
Yeah.
Of giving out advice, showing men how to be men, I think, and relationships and life.
I help women too.
And I'm very curious to see the women that come out to you. I'm curious to hear what kind of questions they have.
Yeah. 9.5.
What? Always 9.5? Are you rocking 9.5?
9.5.
Jesus Christ. Thicky, too?
Nice package.
Would you take, this is a real question for a big dick guy, would you take an inch less for thicker?
Nah.
You like your thick?
I'm good.
You see how Jacob tries to alpha dog me when we have three people in the studio? He sits with his chair way higher than mine.
I know.
Make himself feel like a big.
You're looking right down on your
little
hair.
Big man? You feel big? You feel like a big man now?
He's got white, yellow, and blue pages underneath that butt.
We got Jacob addicted to heroin recently, so I'll take half blame for that. It's a good day. We're all sitting here, starting to snow outside.
Oh, is it?
Way over winter this year.
The bomb cyclone?
The bomb cyclone. In fucking deed. Dante, 9.5 inches. I don't know why I'm still stuck on that so hard.
9.5 fucking inches.
Yeah. Christine just got her bangs trimmed today, so I saw her eyebrows raise. He said 9.5. She went, ooh, I guessed, but I didn't think that high. Very fun. So, Dante, you actually take personal one-on-one consultation shit.
Yeah.
In person and via
I'll do
Skype
both, but
sessions.
usually I do Skype and I do sometimes just phone calls. What I find most of all, guys, so it's not a masculine thing to ask for directions. We don't ask for directions. So usually when they call me, it's already a shit show, you know? So
the guy's already like, he's gone.
It's already, I mean, you can find a way to work it back, but they usually don't call until it's really.
He's trying to get from Jersey from New York and he's in fucking Maine somewhere.
Yeah, it's all right. If they had called me earlier, I could have been like, don't do this.
Dude, you're only 2 turns away.
Yeah.
Now you got to upheave their life.
Yeah, you got to fix everything.
What's the most major change you've convinced somebody to make?
Well,
assuming for the positive.
Well, like I could say, I had a guy get into he was divorced. He went through a divorce, and it was just really just a situation where he was a guy who, like a blue collar dude, who married this woman. And he was like a sweetheart, and he built the house of her dream, circular driveway, heated driveway, the whole shit, pool.
Crown molding.
Yeah,
Come on,
crown
Lou.
molding.
She fixed the crown molding.
Trex decking.
Yeah, the glass shower.
Did you ever hear the guy trying to get the girl on YouTube?
I built everything. Every square inch, from crown molding to chair rail, to floors, to lighting, to plumbing,
and this
doors,
bitch.
Windows. So this is the type of guy you get.
This is his come fuck me pitch.
Oh, yeah?
So we had some inside information that says he fucked the chick, but I don't know if that's true.
This is the guy you're getting.
Hello, Julia. Ciao, Julia.
Dante,
Julia.
Before, I want to know, how did you even get into this?
So, this is basic comedy knowledge. I mean, Jay knows this. I was a male stripper for 11 years.
Basic comedy knowledge. So
yeah,
his name wasn't 9.5.
Yeah.
That's what I would call it. They would call me 9.5.
So I was a male stripper for like 11 years, and so understanding attraction is like, if you don't understand that, you don't make any money.
Yeah.
And so then you just, I was in a position where there was a lot of women. And not because I'm the best looking dude or any, I mean, which I'm cute as a button, but,
An Adonis.
but
9.5 inches of cute.
I thought you were a statue till you started talking.
and that's the thing. I actually thought I had a little dick or an average dick because of the dudes in the stripper. And they were like, they had dudes with 14s, 12s, you know.
I'm looking at Christine's eyebrows.
Those bangs are jumping.
No, that one didn't get her. 14's too much.
But and so so I was being in that business is a situation where you get an opportunity. There's an opportunity to be with a lot of women.
Yeah.
So at about 32, I don't know if you kept a number. What's your number, Mike?
My number of fucks?
Yeah, women, not fucks, but actual women you fuck.
I think I don't remember it. I would say
Approximate
40s, 50s.
40s, 50s?
Yeah.
How old are you?
No, that's their ages. There was only two of them.
40s, 50s.
They were in their 40s or 50s.
I'm 38. I've been married for whatever, 8-9 years.
Yeah. So
60, 100,
so like at 32,
300.
At 32, I was at 1400.
Yeah, well,
that's when I stopped.
9.5 inch dick.
It just
You're fucking 3 at a
count
time.
to 1400.
I kept the book. It was like a goofy thing to do, and then I stopped counting at 30. When I was 32 years old, I stopped counting.
The only sex book I ever saw a girl keep was the girl who used to blow us all in South Jersey by my mom's house. Kept a notebook we found one day of like rating everyone's like jizz taste, dick size.
Come on,
swear to God,
she got to have a glossary.
She was someone's live-in nanny, by the way.
Wow, lucky
yeah,
dude.
really. No. This was a girl. This is a girl that we were surprised because she used to blow everybody, and then one day we were at a friend's house going like, his brother Bob, the younger kid, was like, dude, you never had your dick sucked before? He goes, you gotta come see the dick suck girl. She's great. She's so great. And then we all piled into the car and went over there, and we're like, should we call? This isn't cell phones time, you know?
Should we all go?
So we all go, and then we're doing like, I mean, there's like 7 of us, like doing a Scooby-Doo walk behind a building, like, trying to get over to see, because she lived like in like a finished basement, was like her bedroom. Where she lived down there, and there was a door right to the outside. So we go up and we get to that door, and then we see one of our friends who was part of the go over there and just get your dick sucked crew, sitting watching the TV, like snuggled up with her. Hilarious. And everyone just goes, we're not even gonna let her. And then we just ended up just like blowing up the spot, like knocking the door, like, hey, are you guys having a romantic evening? I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
He fell in love with the blowjob girl.
He did something. I don't know. I think he ended up getting her pregnant or something. It was weird. The blowjob girl. That girl. The only time I ever felt bad for that girl in my life was she came over to my house one time, and my little brother was really little at the time. Just kind of repeated things we said. And she brought over the kids that she took care of, and they were playing with my brothers and sisters and stuff. More my sister because they were younger. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of people in my house. It was just a free-for-all in my house. Those poor kids didn't have a chance. They were raised essentially by me for a lot of hours. Oof. And I was allowed to have everybody over. I had all good friends. My friends weren't like, there was no drugs, drinking, but it was just like a bunch of teenage males talking shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think we locked my brother in a closet one time, wouldn't let him out until he yelled the word nigger, which is just because it made us laugh so hard that he was going to do. He didn't know what it meant. It didn't mean that we just wanted him to do it. And then we're like, all right, get out of here. I mean, black friends, everyone, my friends there. It's just about everyone to see him do it.
I have that same story.
I didn't know you grew up in Philly.
It was to get his white half brother to stop saying it. They wouldn't let him out of the closet until he stopped yelling at him.
They knew it was Dante in the closet because 4.5 inches of teenage dick was sticking out.
That's fucking great. But I remember there was a lot of commotion as my brother kept trying to get my attention. He's going, Jay, and everyone's talking and there's too much going on. I finally go loud enough that it kind of scratched the record. Yeah. I go, Bobby, Jesus Christ, what? And all things stops in the room, and he goes, that girl does have some fat ass legs. She had these tree trunk legs. And he called that out, and everyone was like, oh, and she was like, no, it's okay, I know. Kids say crazy things, but come on. And just everybody trying not to bite their lips off to not laugh at it. Like, ooh, that was tough. But to fall in love with that chick, that's got to be good for her, though, huh? She had some charms on him.
I had a dude that worked at the phone company with me, good looking dude, and he worked the phone company and he worked UPS at night. And it was like this really awful guard. Like we used to call her Mary J. Bulge, right? She's really square with like pineapple finger waves, right? With gold and purple. And he just kept, he would come into work at like 3:00 in the morning, and she would always like, you all right? I'll sleep. I'll wake you up. And then she started sucking his dick, and every night she would suck his dick, and then after a while he's sucking his dick, and then she was like, you want some pussy? And he was like, yeah, all right, I guess so, right? And the next thing you know, he ended up marrying her.
What kind of phone company is this?
What the hell kind of phone company is? Why is my three-way not working? Is that in the black community, is that the easiest mark? The fat black chick who's got crazy colors and a well overdone haircut?
Yeah,
that's a pretty easy mark. You don't even got to put that in the fucking crosshairs.
Trying to live life with Lonnie Love confidence. That's always been the black woman who hits on me. When I started in the black circuit after the shows.
You think?
Yeah, it was that.
White boy?
You never been with a black girl before? I can show you a couple things, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, not you. I'm thinking more the Aaliyah type. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I wasn't thinking so much you. I'll even take a Tamara, a Tawana, whatever the fuck those names
Kim
were.
if I have to.
Little Kim was top of the heat for me.
I loved her.
Top of the heat.
I have such a thing for black girls.
That video with the poster with her legs open with the fur coat.
That's the early natural little Kim. So we've gone through this in the show before, but then even Notorious K.I.M.
Yeah, she can get it.
No, it was
kind of weird though.
She was starting to get fake and weird,
yeah.
but it was still together.
Yeah.
And
Young Kim was just.
It looked really good. It's so much so that I think I would tee in tomorrow. Sorry.
That's.
It was. It's so much that
There it is.
I would even fuck that creepy Cabbage Patch doll she's become now.
She's so weird looking now.
She's all fucked up.
But that was still good. That cover you just showed
right there.
Yeah. But the one after that, it gets crazy.
No, she started getting. That's when it started going off the rails.
Yeah.
Now you know what? Still all right there.
No, not that one. After that, like where she, when she.
Well, you just flat out look at her now. I mean, just bring up a picture of her now. I mean, she looks fucking freakish.
Crazy chin. Crazy.
It looks like a different. First of all, she looks like a white person.
Yeah.
And like a completely different person.
Got the cheekbones and the. Now that's not even the one below that.
By the way, that's a good picture.
Yeah, that's the good one.
And we'll put these all at the Bonfire SXM, and we've talked about it on the show before. Little Kim has become. I mean, she performed on that Hip Hop Honors, the Divas thing or whatever, and she came out and like didn't remember the words, and like she just looks like a fire plug with a big fake ass.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous looking.
She used to be so beautiful.
Yeah, she was so hot. But but I never got that
one. The first natural little Kim.
I never got that whip, but. I assume in your life, well, you've been able to kind of, I assume,
14.
You've always gone for, Mike. I don't know. Have you done a lot of in your life of the? I'll take what I can get.
No.
I had a pretty good early life.
We had a couple. I had a couple experiences that were pretty early. I know I've told you a few of them.
I'd get to one that I thought was like out of my league. Pretty was immediately when I got way too deep when I shouldn't have with a chick. Just based solely on the like, oh, you're not supposed to be fucking me. You're probably embarrassed you've done this. Wait, you want to do it again? Well, then I guess we're an item.
Yeah.
Because of that, but I was my wheelhouse of comfort was always like bigger chicks and stuff. So I mean, I've definitely fucked the equivalent a bunch of times of the black chick with the goofy pineapple wave in her hair and all that. I mean, I've done a lot of that. A lot of polyester pants have been pulling down.
I'd say a large majority of my life from college through, like when I started comedy was Wednesday through Saturday going out and getting ripped and just chasing puss. Like that was the goal, was to just go out and just chase chicks. And
now was it
2 o'clock in the morning, 3 in the morning, I'll start to be like, who's left? And then it's
stragglers.
You lived in that world though. I started comedy so young that I never existed in the world of like, and my friends all did. They stayed back. You existed in the 9 to 5 world for a while.
Quite a while.
So I never had that. All my friends, a lot of them still doing it. When I started doing comedy and kind of like, just not by any purpose, you just sort of distancing yourself from your friends. You start meeting other people who are doing what you're doing, and they become stronger friends. I still call Kurt Metzger one of my oldest friends in the world because we met immediately in comedy and became friends. Kevin Hart too, we haven't stayed nearly in contact. Me and Kurt, you know what I mean? So I always say Kurt's one of my oldest and dearest friends, and I've got plenty of friends that I still hear from time to time from deeper back than that. But you know what I'm saying? But those guys all lived that life when I was like, hey, come to a comedy show. I got this thing. And they were all like, nah, man. Thursday nights, dollar beer night at Dominic's, and then we all played darts and some bowling where it's like there's a bunch of chicks there, and it was that. It was like living for the weekend.
It really
so
was.
I never experienced that, but there was living by myself, not even with roommates, but maybe even with roommates, but like just totally on my own with no girl.
Yeah.
And also freely just having a time in my life of dating as an adult are two things I'd never experienced.
Just write to comedy and just line up, hook it up.
It was comedy. My ex-girlfriend Cheryl dumped me. A few months, I fucked maybe once or twice in between that before I met Carla. And then me and her started dating. Moved in very quick as a 9/11. Got pregnant immediately. And then it was just, I was in that relationship for a long time.
As we all did, 9/11, we all moved in with chicks.
Well, no, I was driving back and forth.
I was married in 9/11.
Yeah.
I was married then.
Well, I was driving. You remember me, Keith, and Kevin?
Yeah, coming back.
Drive back and forth from Philly every day.
Yeah,
so
that's when I met you.
We just couldn't possibly do it anymore. That drive was becoming like a 4.5 hour drive, just 9/11. So we moved in.
Yeah.
And then I was in that relationship for a long time. Horribly. I mean, most of the numbers I would tell you would happen in that time span, you know?
I'm so disappointed in you.
This is how I find out.
I was a relationship guy too for quite a while, you know.
Me too. I was just in a lot of relationships simultaneously.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I've got an incredibly strong guilt gland, and I have a very hard time being unfaithful. Well, very hard to, and I hate it. I hate it.
Here's something that I think about every time. I say this all the time. When you're in a relationship, you're losing. You lose. And the reason,
in what way? What do you mean?
In a way that to be a man, your manhood is attached to your ability to provide.
Sure.
So, not that it's the intention is to lose, but the point is that we usually don't date women that we think are going to provide for us. So part of being a man, looking at yourself in the mirror, is your ability to provide for your child and for your woman and to make you happy. So it is a sacrifice, and so always.
It's interesting you say that. I'm gonna cut you off because when I moved in with Carla, for sure. Not that she was supporting me, but she was the bulk for sure. She was making more money waitressing.
But I don't mean in money.
My wife 1,000,000% supported me in the beginning.
But not necessarily in money though, because when I say all the time is a woman never dates a guy who she doesn't think is better than her.
Say that again?
A woman never dates a guy who she doesn't think is better than her. And when I say better is a relative term. So it doesn't necessarily have to be money, but she has to perceive you as a guy that she looks up to. Anytime a woman doesn't look up to you, then the relationship is already on a downswing.
You're talking about the natural idea of like protection.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
whatever it is, whatever she perceives.
Yeah, her perception of like the ideal man. It doesn't have to be what's in your wallet.
Right. And that's the thing. What always kind of killed me about you and your low self-esteem of what you think that your value was, because you always looked at. As long as I've known you, you've always looked at how pretty they were and whatever, and you were always funny and interesting, and your life was exciting, and the things that you would do. And so women were always attracted you. They looked at you at a different standard than you looked at them, and you measured yourself from what you thought the value of women were instead of what they valued you from.
What their pretty was.
Yeah.
I was like, I judge it all on their pretty.
Yeah.
I changed that. I mean, I'm Christine now.
Yeah, with bangs. I mean.
But it is
Christine's
a thing.
too pretty for me too.
Yeah. Aww. You are beautiful.
Wink.
That's not true. I think you're so handsome.
Stop looking at Dante when you say it.
She did look right at me, right?
Right at me. I think
right at my pupils.
Dante knows what's up.
I think you're so handsome, especially with that 9.5-inch peg.
9.5. When you strip, would you just put fly paper on your dick or collars? Or just...
there was dudes way worse than me. I'll tell you a story. I did a show out at this club called The Prairie in Jersey, and it was like a strip fest. Like it was like 40 dudes, and it was like
Dongapalooza.
Yeah, Dongapalooza, and
Gathering of the Hoggalos.
and I remember, like, everybody's name was like on like the lineup.
Yeah.
And so there was this guy named Slick the Ruler. His name was Slick the Ruler.
Okay.
And I go, yo, who's Slick? Who's Slick? I go after Slick, and the guy turns around and he's got like these satin pajamas on, and the pants are up, and there's still 6 inches of dick above the waist of his pajama pants, and he's like, I'm Slick. I'm like, fuck.
So you're the headliner, huh, Slick? Did you ever see? There's a great video that I found. I've seen it a lot in my porn hunts based off my keyword searches. It's a guy backstage.
Strippers?
Yeah, it's black stripper dudes backstage. He's wearing like camouflage something. He's like tying a thing around the base of his dick.
They call that beefing up.
Yeah, they do this whole thing, and it's somewhere in London, I think, or at least the girls are, because they go, "Oh God, it's lovely," and look, that's a dick, girl, that's a dick, and just like they reach down and start sucking it. They take turns sucking it a little bit. And he's just like, "Thanks, ladies," and then he just goes and does the show.
Well, they stopped using we stopped using they used to use cock rings, and then everybody found out that ace bandage, like a half-inch of ace bandage, works better than, because you put an ace bandage on your knee. Mm-hmm. So and you can jog with an ace bandage on. Yeah. So if you tie off with an ace bandage, it works much better.
Just got little white guys using broccoli elastics and shit.
Now, Dante, I ask you this as a guest here. With the first call in, is a woman who simply says, "I 100% disagree with you." Do you like taking calls like this?
Yeah,
do you like taking calls to have someone try to debunk, or you have to explain it to? All right, I'll tell you this: for the most,
I want it.
I'm saying the Bonfire listeners are a pleasant batch, man, and they do, and they're very reasonable people. So I appreciate that. So let's give it a whirl. I like it. First one's a girl. Let's go for it. A woman. Sorry, Jenny, a woman. You're on.
Hey, Jenny.
I don't want to start off on the wrong foot. You're a strong, independent woman, and you're on with Dante Nero.
And I probably shouldn't just say I think he's a fucking asshole since you just said we're reasonable, and I don't. I don't. No, I think you can't speak in absolutes, because that's how you always set yourself up.
Okay, well, let me say this. First of all, when people say you can't speak in absolutes, to say intellectually that there are no exceptions to the rules is just absurd. So if we're going to have that debate, that's absurd. The point is that you make generalizations in order to escalate the dialogue. So, okay, so you may be different from everybody else, and that's fine, but there are generalities. There's a thing called behavioral psychology, and that's the study of patterns, of behavioral patterns on men and women. So men do the same things that men do, and women do the same things. We're all alike. And the fact that you, over and over again, you hear women go, "Oh, I'm so different." You're not. That's why.
No, I think the only point I would make, and it stems from the individual experience, that no, my experience in my relationship and with my husband, I'm not with him, and I don't look for men that I think are better than me. Because do I think he's smarter than me? No. Does he make more money than me? No. But I don't love him because of that. I'm with him for other reasons. I'm with him because I get something else from him.
Does he have a 9.5-inch dick?
And those
it's all the dick.
those things that you think that you're with him for other reasons are the things that you don't have. That's why you're with him, which is why you say you think he's better than you. The point is, better is a relative term. Nobody's saying it's money, it's money or education. What I'm saying is, you look at a guy and find a guy attractive based on things that you like and you think that you don't have, and that's just so.
Well, how about this? How about a guy that doesn't necessarily make a lot of? So I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying exactly, because I think there's a good discussion. When you say better, it could even be in the regard of, let's say it's a guy who doesn't make a lot of money.
Yeah,
more of like a guy kind of has to hustle his money.
Yeah,
and there's a girl who, sometimes a woman who's like, a doctor or something, gets into a guy like that. But is it almost because, when you're saying the better, it's like, I can't believe this guy knows how to handle the streets like that. Like, I'd be lost in the streets like that. So it's just some quality.
Or maybe it's her past experience where she was with a dude that had a ton of money but was like an unambitious piece of shit. And basically, I think a lot of, like, in my experiences, I look at what I've experienced in the past and try to not replicate mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that,
I think that's a progressive thing, and everybody doesn't. That's a really progressive thing to be, a person who's constantly trying to move the needle. I'll give you an example. When I was younger and I still lived with my mom, I slept in my mom's basement on my futon
1,400 times.
But I didn't really, like, I always felt like it was all going to work out.
Yeah.
And I dated a chick who was like a corporate executive, and she had the condo and she had the Benz and she had this. But even though she had all those things, she was always worried about what was next. Like, she was and I didn't give a fuck about anything. So I'm not saying I guess what I'm saying is I didn't think I was better. She thought I was better. She thought I was better because she was like, he don't have a window or a can of piss or whatever the fuck the saying is to throw out of, but I didn't give a fuck. And she worried about everything, and so she liked being with me because I gave her what she didn't have. So what I'm not saying better in the terms of value, that you don't have a value. What you love about your man and your husband is those things that you don't have, because if you had it, you wouldn't need it from him.
Is a guy ever drawn to, do you think, I think this could be the case very much, drawn to a woman because of her thing that's way better than him? Like just a woman who just has, you've seen her sing before and she has an amazing voice, and maybe she's not going anywhere with it, but you're just like, wow, man, like she can just, like, that's the thing, she's better than him at something.
Well,
for sure.
I
guess they're going to be better at something always. The woman's always going to be better at something.
Sure, but I think you have guys who are insecure, who don't want a woman to be better than them, and you have guys who find that attractive, a woman who's strong and like the fact that so I think that's, like, I'll give you an example. I always use this as an example. Oprah is worth billions of dollars, but she's with Stedman, and Stedman is probably worth about 10 million. She could buy and sell him, but I remember watching Oprah. She was on a show, and then she wanted to get a dog, and so she went to a breeder. It was a Labrador Retriever breeder. She went to the breeder, and she was like, "Oh my God, the puppies are so! I want to buy all of them." Now, Oprah literally could buy an island and put all the Labradors from the world on an island,
island,
and call it Labradoria, right? and she goes, "I want them all," and then Stedman goes, "No, you can have one." And I was like, who the fuck tells Oprah what to do? And she was like, but I don't know which one to get. He goes, I tell you what, you pick one and I pick one. And that's it.
And then we fight them.
And then she goes, okay. And then she picked one and he picked one. So she has a need to have a strong man that she can rely on, even when it means her problems. He has to rub her big head and make everything okay. And her problems are bigger than anybody's problems. So when she says, I don't eat beef, like when and the whole Texas beef coalition was going on, he has to have the knees to stand up and say everything's going to be okay, even though she's worth billions and she could buy and sell.
So there's still, maybe, and also Stedman, a 10-inch dick. A lot of people don't know that. But so also, yeah. I mean, they've been together for so long.
Yeah.
Huh? You're saying almost more role, kind of falling into your role, though. So it's like, forget the money and the whatever. Is a man, a woman still wants to be a woman, a man wants to be a man. Christine caught a little shit during all like the Me Too stuff that's going on. And just speaking about like just the responsibility of like the chick in that too.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
right. Sure.
Like standing up and fucking like, this is making women look weak.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like how women need to be like stronger and.
But you don't ignore the fact that there's toxic masculinity either.
No.
But we're talking.
No, but she's saying she still wants to be a woman.
Right.
She still wants
Absolutely.
She still wants a guy maybe after a date to try to kiss her.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like maybe you're not into it, but you still feel like it's like I don't know. You want to be.
The dance has always existed. I mean, human beings have been on this earth for 200,000 years, and the reason why our species survives is because women have chose the correct males. If they didn't, we would go extinct. That's just science. You can't go. So I guess what Jenny's taking offense to it because she's like, I make more money, and that's not what I'm saying. What you love your guy for, you love him because he's better than you. In whatever that is. I don't know you from Adam.
Like better. equals different,
but
in a way. You know
but
what I'm saying?
It's from her perspective.
Right,
it's
right,
better.
yeah.
And from my perspective, but we're not talking about we're talking.
It doesn't matter what your perspective is for Jen.
That's what the point. The point was,
I'm with you.
Women want a guy who she thinks is better. Whatever she thinks is better. I'm not defining what that better is. I'm just saying why. And when you see a woman and when she gets to the point where she doesn't think you're better, she leaves you. That's because she's looking at you like,
all right,
what
Jenny,
do I need you?
Jenny, you heard it here first. Your husband ain't shit.
Husband sucks.
I'm sorry this day you had to find out. Jenny, we're teasing, obviously. Thank you for the call. We're going to take our first break here. We're hanging out with Dante Nero, Mike Fenoya. This is The Bonfire.
And now, back to The Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Rest in peace, Craig Mack. Dead at 47. Yikes. The Bonfire, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. 844 Comedy 9 is the number. The Bonfire at SiriusXM.com. Everybody, send in. We're still waiting for more submissions for our... do you have the thing, Lou? Do you have our intro for our game shows we're doing?
Yes.
Thank you. Everyone's ready for this.
It's time for America's favorite game show. What's on TV?
Mike, it's a game where we...
the background.
People send in their videos.
Wow, they're fucking. Here's your hosts, Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Makes me so happy.
It's so great.
I like a nice long intro for a game show. We're still taking submissions. The Bonfire at SiriusXM.com for that, where you have sex, or now where we've opened it up to masturbation videos, as one young lady suggested. And in the background should be playing a film or TV show, and then it'll be up to us to guess what's playing in the background. Our other game, going strong, by the way, is who's going to fuck Jacob, just to get some stank on him so we can find him a girlfriend.
Get the stank on him.
And I don't like it. And Dante, I'm happy you're here, my friend. I'm happy you're here for this, because Jacob is, first of all, I mean, we just put a picture up of one girl who sent a picture in here.
Banger.
Fantastic, Jacob. What would be your gripe here? Jacob.
What was that?
The microphone?
Oh.
What's your problem here?
Nothing. She's very cute.
Super cute. Although I'm more now, I'm getting worried.
Got a nice dumpster too.
I feel we keep saying this, but the picture is really perfectly covering her tits. Any semblance of her tits, you can't see at all. So now I'm getting worried that we're all fawning over a tranny. But if it is, it's a good one. Which is good news, Jacob. And two, it's not. It's a pretty fucking hot chick. No, nothing on that.
No.
Why wouldn't you throw it down with that? And that's the girl you throw it down to. This isn't the girlfriend part of the game yet.
No.
This is, you got to get some stank on you. And this girl's got plenty of stank, it looks like.
Yeah, look at her room. She's got a nice, neat room in the background.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, but tatted up like that, she's going to show you a good time. She's going to do things... You're not going to have to ask for the weird shit you like.
Yeah, you're going to start smoking cigarettes that night.
You're definitely going to get a finger in the pooper while she's blowing you. That's going to happen.
And all you got, and it's your job in that situation to just not wince up.
Yeah.
You got to breathe into it.
Just act like it's okay.
If you saw her in person, you had a couple drinks in you think you'd go up to her? Sure. Is she your go?
Not a chance.
No?
I'll answer it for him, but maybe I'm wrong.
You know, here's the thing. I'm looking at Jacob. Jacob doesn't take up space. Like his personality, he's very he's not taking up
compact.
Space. Yeah, because he's not.
He's a boss motherfucker at the job. On the job, he's a boss motherfucker.
Yeah, but he's not confident in this situation. You could tell he's not confident. And I would say this, Jake, if you had to say what kind of guy are you, Jacob? What kind of guy are you?
A guy that likes to get cigarettes put out on my back. Got a lot of inner pain.
And never take my shirt off again.
I wouldn't say lack of confidence, but I would say low key. I don't like a lot of noise.
Yeah,
I like quiet.
You love what you love it. You want.
Yeah, but you're.
That's his Tinder profile. I don't like a lot of noise. Also, I love steak,
and I don't like kids on my lawn.
Give crotchety things. I like an old robe. I'll tell you what I like. Airwolf reruns.
Yeah, I don't like paper cuts either.
I like Mannix.
Keep your stupid rat tail kids away from my house too. If you got kids, it's fine, but just keep them away from me.
Would you feel like you're confident with women? Are you like, would you just walk up to a woman and say hello to her and just kind of kick it, the Willy Bobo?
Not me.
No, I can tell your lip.
No,
even when the way you pursed your lip.
Drinks.
Yeah, dude. Then why not?
But don't a lot of people.
But you don't.
That's not you.
I mean, that's true. Though.
Yes,
There's a lot of people. It's me too. I'm not. I'm not a cold talker.
But you should never use that as. That's almost like saying.
Well, I'm admitting then. Yeah, I won't. It's not my thing. I can't just go. Hey, what's up?
Here's what I find. The confidence from a man comes from when you understand what your value is, and I don't think you understand what your value is in the context of a woman. So if I asked you what kind of guy you are, what would you say? Are you loyal?
Yeah.
Are you honest?
Yes.
Are you kind?
I am.
Are you generous?
Are you clean?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's
Are you soft?
Over clean.
Are you DTF?
So
Are you wax?
Here's an interesting thing. What if you had another you as a friend? How awesome would that be? Like another dude just like you as a friend.
This is fucking awesome.
Well, we both wouldn't be getting laid.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying yeah, that's probably so.
He'd be able to work the eyebrow.
But what I'm saying is, if you had you as a friend, how awesome would that be? You as a person, as a friend.
I think
okay, so
I would get along with me.
What I'm saying is, your value. You see value in yourself as a friend, but the value that you see as a friend is the same value that a woman will see in you. And you seem to think that there's a difference in that, a difference in the way that a woman looks at you. The same way, those things that you cherish, which is loyalty and honesty and generosity and stick-to-itiveness and all those things are very amazing qualities. They're not qualities that other people have, but then those are things that you work at being, but then when you're
Jacob's always challenging his stick-to-itiveness.
And when you're selling that to a woman, you don't think it has any value because you're assuming that she won't see those things as valuable. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
So my point is, so whatever you think the first thing I would do when I build a dude up is I say, what are the things that you think, or what are your shortcomings?
He means that as traits. He doesn't mean penis.
Yeah.
That's my shortcoming. I mean, it takes me long to come sometimes, but
that's not a bad thing.
There's only a short thing coming.
Well, I don't know, like personality. I don't like I wish I was 6'2".
Oh shit!
That's not your personality.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're giving value to things that you're assuming that other people give value.
Are you looking for answers?
Dante,
are you looking for answers?
You hear that?
Well,
it doesn't matter. Sledgehammered over my head.
What?
You hear? That's the first thing you hear in every conversation.
What do you mean?
I wish I was a little bit taller.
No, that's what women find attractive. Height's important.
Women don't know what the fuck they find attractive.
Short
I'm not putting it like that's the only thing.
I'm saying short guys.
I'm 5'8".
Never ask. First thing is, never ask a woman her advice on a relationship. If you want to know how to hunt a deer, you ask the hunter. You don't ask the deer, because the deer is just being the deer. The deer is just being the deer. So women will tell you, I like this, I like that, I like that. But the first thing is attraction.
Everything you're putting right now, Black Lou's white wife's father, as we speak right now, is going like, something's weird. Something's changing.
Black Lou's packing his shit. He's moving in with you, dude.
Fuck this shit. We're going on a poetic justice trip. Just take a fucking mail truck across the country and try to fuck Janet Jackson. And the kid from 227.
With braids. With really big braids.
And the 227 girl.
With Singhalese braids.
And then you're going to be Joe Torre.
I'll be Joe Torre.
You got to be Joe Torre because you're all jacked up.
So, but what I'm saying is, women will always say, "Oh, I like this, I like that," but a woman doesn't feel attraction in her brain. It's not a list that she writes down. A woman feels attraction in her pussy. It's a feeling. It's a visceral feeling. And so what you're assuming is that what women are yapping about is what they really think, and that's not what they think. What happens is, a woman will look at a guy and they'll feel this visceral attraction that they don't really understand what that is. They just feel it. Now, when you ask them to explain it, I want a guy with a Porsche, and I want a guy who's a doctor. He's a doctor, PhD, but none of that shit matters. If you're confident enough, first of all, she wants to know that she's safe. There's these instinctual things that attract you that are based on 200,000 years of mating and what so a woman has to first finds a man attractive who she thinks is going to keep her safe. That's the first thing. It's just like if she finds a guy creepy, she will do everything in her power to avoid him, because creepy and uncertainty reads as deceptive. Deceptive reads as dangerous, and dangerous means I gotta get the fuck out.
And all that sounds to me, DJ Lewinsky, if you're asking me, quite honestly.
I think you should always carry a buck knife and just show her the fucking handle, show her an ivory handle, and be like, "You're safe around me.
Don't worry, you're fine with me.
Fine with me.
I got these streets on lock.
I'll be right there."
He tells you his weird superhero vigilante. You know those superhero vigilantes that go in those neighborhoods?
Yeah.
He tells you don't know who he is. He goes, "I'm the Black Mantis." And you're like, I don't. And he goes, "No, you've heard about me on local Long Island news stations." No, I am the Black Mantis. Okay, so I think my ride's almost here.
I'm Winter Leather. Like who? You may have heard of me in Glastonbury. Winter Leather.
I'm the Dark Beetle. You may have heard of my work in the Daily Trader or the Long Islander, the Metro Liner, the Long Island Railroad's first and only original newsletter.
When I was 23, I started to lose my hair, and I started to get really paranoid about it. But I was single.
You're still looking for it.
Yeah, I can't find it anywhere. But I went to the gym like crazy. I tried to do anything to overcompensate. But that's when I was going out every single night and going to the bar, and my goal was to just get pussy every night. But what worked for me the best was thinking about all of the other dudes that are going up and talking to this chick are laying dumb, hacky, hokey game on her, and I would just go up and talk to her like we were best friends and we've known each other our whole life, and it would take her off guard and be like, "Oh wow, this guy's actually pretty cool and real," and then I'd go straight for the puss.
Well, it's funny.
Honest to God, that's pretty much
one of my top head turners as far as looks wise was all because I just met her with a bunch of friends, and all my friends immediately, as you're should if you're a confident person, was like, "Well, I'm gonna take a swipe at this. I'm gonna take and everything." And my friends were with me, but I had done a show. Mm-hmm. This is open mic days too. That's how long back this goes. But I just done a show and just did something different, and was the only person who was. And it wasn't like I'm gonna lay back and be cool. It was 100% like, well, this girl's. I'm definitely not gonna be the guy in the group that she's gonna. I don't think she's gonna fuck anybody in this fucking ragtag group of idiots. Yeah. But it certainly isn't gonna be me. And then I ended up hooking up with her a couple 2 or 3 times maybe, but it was such a because that was fuck out. But it was but then literally by the 3rd time she saw all over me that I was still like, "This is crazy. Can you believe how crazy this is?" And she was like, "Yeah, I think this is done." I'm like, "Oh, I get it. I saw that coming."
Yeah, that's so great.
Well, I've taken young dudes, and I'll tell a dude, I have this thing is lay to 5 bricks, meaning go out every day and talk to 5 women a day. Not with
bricks, like basketball bricks. Yeah.
Well, like open mics. Well,
sure.
Literally, just not to get a number, not in it. Just speak. Wow, I love your makeup. That's a pretty brooch. I love your bangs. Whatever.
Brooch. No, we know you're lying.
Nice bloomers.
But not with the intention to get her, but just to get the rep. So it's just like with stand up, you do open mics.
10,000 hours.
Right, and
it's a fantastic analogy, because I'll tell you, Jacob, I share that with you very much. I've not been rejected very much in life. It only took a few weird, like I said, my safety, I feel, net in the world of Me Too movement is that where it's like, all right, it's coming for everybody, man. You got something dicey going on. I'm like, I don't think so, only because
you didn't have
the one time dicey. When I was a kid, and I thought me and this girl were gonna fuck. I thought it was a lock. She was naked in my room, and I got a condom, and I was like, I guess I'll need this. And she was like, no. And I just felt so stupid for thinking that's where it was going.
Right.
And she didn't want to stop doing everything else, but I just did stop doing it. I'm like, oh, I guess you were nervous and uncomfortable.
Right. Of course,
I want to get you out of here too. And this is going back to being 17 years old. Mm-hmm. So I've had that. So I don't cold talk girls in a bar. I do feel more of the superpower. It's a weird kind of crossroad I hit. I understand now, especially some people know who I am from other things I've done, this show, television stuff.
You feel confident
so when they come
about
out, I feel confident more. I still have the thing that's in me, especially when it's a girl, where I'm like, really? This girl's like so hot and like, whipping it at me, essentially. I still have that thing inside me. I still have a thing in me going like, complimentary stuff. You have like your eyes, you blah blah blah. You whatever. You think I'm good looking. But let me just finish. I always have that still like. Well, I bet you wouldn't look in my eyes twice if we were just across each other at a fucking bar, and I get like a chip on my shoulder about that, which is no good.
But that's you're in your head about that. And what happens is when you're just talking, and I don't mean just the hot ones. I mean, like I will flirt with the lady at the cashier, the 60-year-old lady at the cashier.
Of course, you get free bubble gum.
You just don't do it. You do it with everybody.
How else are you gonna get your trading
the cleaning lady, this guy.
I'm with you.
And so what happens is you get this, you build this callus of where the approach anxiety that you get, you stop getting it. It's just like getting on stage. When somebody introduces you, don't feel that, oh my God, you just go on stage because you've done it so many times. But the point is not, it's not to be sexual either. Just wow, that colored blouse looks great with your eyes.
Really hugs those tits nice. What's up with that puss? I'll be over here.
That moose knuckles really making me chub up.
Oh my God. You can slide a credit card down that clam sandwich. I'll be in the corner if you need me.
I've gotten laid a lot of times with
I'll be in the corner with sharpening my knife.
If you need me, I'll be carving our names with a heart in the wood at the end of the bar.
Just let me know when to strike the arrow through. I'm with you a million. I do it all the time, dude, and it's just more kind of like fun. And do you think you deserve it?
No, he doesn't think he deserves it.
And I don't mean that I just got out of therapy, and my therapist asked me. I was talking about how like just fun.
Your therapist told you don't deserve it? You might have to see a new therapist.
No, my therapist told me that Jacob did.
Said, Jacob?
He goes, before you leave, tonight you're going to tell someone that they don't deserve pussy.
It's a human fortune cookie?
Yeah. No, he asked me straight up. He was like, do you feel like you deserve happiness or whatever? And I was like, of course. And he's like, well, why do you feel that way? And it's just like, I feel like it's him solidifying more appointments. But I thought about it for the past couple hours. Like, dude, sometimes people don't think they deserve what we all deserve, which is straight up
they don't ever take stock of what he is like. Jacob seems like a really good dude. So why shouldn't a good dude deserve a nice girl? Why shouldn't a good dude deserve some puss? Why not? Why shouldn't you deserve to get laid or get a relationship or be with a hot girl when you're a good dude and you're willing to do anything to make somebody happy? I mean,
Dante, where do you stand on like the world of like the Bumbles and the Tinders and stuff?
It's all just another. It's just another way for people to connect. What I find with Bumble and Tinder and text message and all this stuff, it creates another step where women can be more fickle and kind of aloof, which is fine for them because they're testing you. But I mean, if you're the brown mantis, you could
the winter leather.
you just play it cool and then you pull your Bowie knife out. It doesn't. You just gotta play it cool. But the point is that Jacob seems like a really good dude. And he doesn't think he deserves any of this, and you're not getting it because you don't think you deserve it.
Well, I want to announce now, before we go to commercial break here in a couple minutes, I want to say we're going to be taking the calls. We're going to be throwing around some relationship advice. This is the time to do it, everybody. So call in now, because when we come back, the first person in the chair is going to be Black Lou himself.
Black Lou.
Coming in for some advice.
He's already got
Dante.
a backpack.
So Black Lou's also taking your calls. So in the interim, call in now if you have some questions, something you want to ask Dante about. Men and women, I'd love to hear from both. I'd like to hear both sides of the story here. Dante, I subscribe. I subscribe to the things you say, man. I bet you've got me to stop hitting Christine. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
You said listen.
You got Christine to listen. Dante has you can catch his new book, Beat Her With Your Words. And I've been really employing that a lot more lately.
Jay's never hit me, but he has said that he wants to hit me a couple times.
I said I'm going to leave because all that's left is I want to hit you.
He's like, do you want us to go to jail tonight? Because we're both going to jail.
I wanted to hit you for 4 years, and I'm not even in a relationship with you.
Such a punchable face. Now you framed it with those bangs.
Could you please punch your girlfriend?
You can't even pull the old. I didn't know he was going to punch me. My hair's in my face. You saw that shit coming down the pike the whole way, and I throw a slow, deliberate punch.
I used to knock the trash can over and just write Christine on the bottom, like she signed the artwork, just so he would punch her.
Christine makes me punch her in the stomach to help her period come quicker.
With the rings on.
I think Jacob's a great guy, and it struck me very recently when I was away. I spoke to Christine on the weekend about it. That Christine spends a lot of time with you. You're an awesome dude. You're in great shape. You work out constantly. You're in great shape. You're a good-looking guy.
Great job.
You're short, so what? Yeah, you have a cool job, a good job, and you should be getting laid several chicks a year until you find one that you're interested in. You should definitely be. You're far more in the game, I think, than you think, and so that's why I wanted Dante to come punch some.
When this is over with, I'm gonna take
aggressive black dude.
I'm gonna take Jacob's number. I'm not gonna finish this here.
Jacob should be walked into some puss. And this girl sent a picture here. I mean, if that's the caliber of women, I don't know, that are submitting. And again, keep submitting. The Bonfire at SiriusXM.com. The Bonfire at SiriusXM.com. Tell us why you want to go hang out with Jacob. And by the way, this isn't some tawdry. Sorry, go to Jacob's and drop the knee and start sucking his dick. I mean, do that if that's what you want to do. But I'm saying this is going to be a nice evening you'll get to spend.
You can call it Raising Jacob, and it sounds like one of those fucking shitty pop, like Breaking Benjamin or whatever the fuck. They open up for 21 Pilots at some festival.
We'll organize it. You come to a comedy show. You come,
I think take her somewhere with access.
I think we organize it. Yeah, you have a nice dinner, and you bring her to a comedy show, or we'll
take you down the back
walk
steps.
You through kitchens and shit, and make you look like you're a do-to-do.
Yeah.
Make you look like a big old do-to-do.
Do-to-do. We'll tell some staff to say hi to you.
Oh, Jacob.
They'll be like, hey, Jake.
Yeah, they'll call you Jake.
Call you Macaroni and
Jay, what's happening?
So we're going to have some great... I mean, I can already tell you when we come back from this break, we have some fun stuff coming because one of the calls up now is Valerie, who's a truck driver, who says, this guy is great. I like to hear that. We're hanging out with Dante Nero and Mike Fenoy. This is the Bonfire.
And now, back to the Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
MCs be jocking my style. I've been saying that. Have you heard about this Howard Stern and Bennington kids out there jocking my style? Apparently they're doing talk radio. Talk radio. My style. My very style of radio.
I got a question. Are they jocking it?
They're jocking it. Just swinging on it. Swinging on the jocking
TikTok and they don't stop.
Who are these clowns?
Every
song. It's the Bonfire, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. We're hanging out with Mike Fenoy, whose new album, Live in Burlington, is on iTunes. You can catch him on April 20th at the Fairfield Comedy Club in Fairfield, Connecticut. And make sure you listen to Dante Nero on the Beige Phillips Show on iTunes. Fucking great show, hilarious, interesting, man. It's really great. And, of course, Dan Soder. He's going to be at Helium in Buffalo Thursday, April 5th. Through Saturday, April 7th. Get tickets for that. And all of Dan's shows at dansoder.com and check out the Season 3 of Billions premiere March 25th, right there on Showtime. And, of course, the Bonfire going to be in Moon Tower this year. Very excited for that. Doing a bunch of shows out there. But the Bonfire is going to be happening Friday, April 20th, 7 p.m. at Antone's again. Fantastic venue. That's in Austin, Texas. Get your tickets for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you want to hear my bullshit, I'm going to be at the Bray Improv next. No, it's all right. I got it. And
That's why they blew it up, because I'm blind as a fucking...
I'm not going to make you a hunter. He's going to be at the... What the fuck is that? I'm going to be at the Bray Improv in Brea, California, Sunday, March 25th, when we go out to L.A. for our big Bonfire / Skanks trip. I believe Louis J. Gomez and Kurt Metzger are going to be on that show in Brea. And after that, I'll be at Zany's in Nashville.
I'll be there with
Friday,
you.
April 6th and Saturday, April 7th. Mike will be there performing some of the other nights too, correct?
Thursday through Sunday, I'll be there.
Beautiful. And I'm going to be headlining Caroline's on Broadway, which is a biggie, man. Please, I need the campers to come out strong for that. Let's make that place know they're not making a mistake by booking me again. So that's going to be in the beginning of May. Get tickets to that and all my shit. BigJComedy.com.
And this whole tour is dedicated to Flavor in Your Ear.
Craig Mack.
Craig Mack. This is the Craig Mack tour.
I'm doing the Resurrect Craig Mack tour.
There's going to be a Craig Mack hologram signing Jay's CDs everywhere.
A seance in every city until we bring him back.
Free Craig Mack from death.
We had Jacob and Black Lou switch seats, so if you're calling, everybody, you can still call in if you have advice you want to ask of Dante Nero of the Beige Phillips Show. Pretty much, he just fixed Jacob. So,
Jacob,
I don't know.
I
stay in touch with Jacob. I'd love that.
I will profess to, if Jacob would let me help him, I will take him on as a project myself, and we'll come back and I will fix his shit.
Now, I have a question. You get people who reach out to you, not just men and women, but also white, black, Latino.
Yeah, everybody.
Do you cater
England?
Do you cater that? Like, you wouldn't tell Jacob to walk into a place and so you would suggest he not walk in and be like, damn girl, I
would never give somebody, like, you have to.
You can't tell them their game.
Well, here's the thing. Authenticity is always attractive. And so anything that I would never tell him to do something that wasn't authentic to him, because women, so again, this is like the Louis C.K. joke where he goes, women have to consider whether or not a man is going to kill her when she goes out. Unless, of course, she's the leather.
The winter leather?
The winter leather.
I want to see Jacob in a big junkyard dog chain, though, around his neck, just going into places.
What's up, bitches? Party just got here.
Women absolutely have to have that. They have to have that filter to know when there's this authenticity, because authenticity is a lack of authenticity is deceptive, and that's always dangerous.
Absolutely.
And so they have a spidey sense to that. So I would never have him do something that was inauthentic to who he was. I
just love that we've now created Crush and Push Jacob, my favorite new character.
What's up, bitches? Party just got here. Let me clean you off a place to spit. It was my face. Get it? Sit on it, you whore bag.
I'm the only guy who could fuck this girl. Everyone's a fucking faggot.
Yeah! There's the spirit, Jacob!
Fuck me if I'm wrong, but you want to blow me right now.
Yeah!
Fuck me if I'm wrong, but you want to blow me right now.
Open your mouth. Blowjob, you won't fuck me right now.
Fucking Crush and Push Jacob's my favorite.
Open your mouth.
Hey, those chicken fingers are on me, because I'm going to be on you in a little bit.
Are your legs tired? Because I really want to fuck you right now.
Oh yeah, I got a hog. I'm gonna bend you over and split you like kindling, bitch.
I think the heaven is missing an angel, because I'm gonna fuck you anally.
Yeah. What? I just got a new demon, bitch. It's great.
So, if you got to call in, that's 844-COMEDY-9. It's 844-266-3399. We're going to talk to Valerie in a moment, but first up,
gotta go live.
Instead, we got to go while we're here, and you can fix lives here. I was surprised to hear. In my world, Black Lou's the only person in this room who's got it together. If you ask me.
What the fuck?
He's married. He just went on vacation.
Hey, man.
Went on an actual honeymoon.
Yeah.
All these things normal people are supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I've never done any of these things.
I've done all those.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm saying in this room, he's on the show every day. Black Lou seems the most together. I feel like we're all fucking whacked out. And I'm sure that's a sad state of affairs in Black Lou's mind, that he's the one we look to.
Yeah.
Who's living a normal life that can't do certain things and is a regular person.
He's wearing a Facebook shirt.
He's wearing a Facebook shirt. Yeah. Guy likes to wear swag. Get over yourself. We all haven't gone to 300 Fish shows where we bought shirts from. We traded a shirt for a fucking deodorant stick or something.
This is a brewery hoodie that someone left in Denver. Remember that?
But so I was surprised when Black Lou goes, "Is it cool if I do a question?" I was like, "Oh, please, yes, absolutely." Yeah. I'd like to see. I want to make him more human to me and not let him think he's this perfect robot that I've made in my mind.
Before I start, I want to say I'm a big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Black Phillip. I've listened to some Beige Phillip.
Yeah.
So I want to tell Jacob, I had an issue with girls thinking I was too short as well. The bricklaying concept that he's talking about actually does work. And I used to work in retail for some time, so I used to learn product knowledge.
Right.
So the general conversation that we would have wouldn't just be like Gossip Girl or anything like that. It would be like, oh, those are nice Tory Burches that you have on. That's a nice Judy Rivka ring you have on. But I make it painfully
really
obvious that I'm straight, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And that usually kind of turns it into a real conversation.
Really specific. Right. Something really specific is always. What I would say a lot of times is wow, your makeup is impeccable.
Wow.
And they're like,
can't wait to watch it drip.
Right.
Wow, you did amazing smoky eyes.
You ever have a 9.5-inch dick make you cry your mascara off?
I'm gonna remove your makeup from the inside out tonight.
Mike is really a piece of shit.
Save your Neutrogena wash wipes tonight.
Hey, you want me to go fishing for that lost IUD from when you were a teenager?
I found a G.I. Joe in here.
Gung ho. That's original press. How long's this been up here for?
Can I keep this?
That die cast can't be good for your blood disease.
So now that I'm happily married,
right?
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people, especially old school guys, they say that's not natural to get married. You should really be right. So my thing is that before I got married, before I was in a long-term relationship, my entire life was basically trying to get girls to fuck me.
Right.
I was never friends with a girl,
right,
unless I was trying to fuck her.
Okay.
So now that I'm married and I'm not trying to fuck girls,
right,
I'm awkward with girls. I don't even know how to have a conversation anymore,
right,
because I'm not using the tools that I would normally use, which I always used, to try to fuck them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So now it's now that I have a ring on my finger, it's like, how do I shut that off?
Shut the trying to fuck them?
Not necessarily trying to fuck them, but how do I?
You don't.
How so?
You don't. First of all, the reason why your wife found you attractive is because of who you are.
Right.
So what happens is all of a sudden people get married and then they change who they are. So you don't want to change who you are, and you don't want to not still talk and converse and lay the 5 bricks because you can't go hunting unless your tools are sharp. And so there's something that
it's a metaphor, Lou. It's a metaphor, DJ Lou.
Thank you.
Don't go home and sharpen your tools. They're sharp enough, you psycho.
Note to self, grind axe.
Lou's like, I knew it. My scalpel and bone saw are too dull. That's been the problem.
My crescent
Anybody
moon.
see my slate oil?
Can I just solidify something you're saying? Because I think I'm 1,000,000% on with what you're saying.
Right.
You and Christine don't have any weird vibe because there's no chance of fucking. So
That's not what Christine said.
Well,
sure there is. It's Christine we're talking about.
all right, so
I
let's
travel
say
extensively.
let's say this is some normal chick, not this fucking Band-Aid over here. No, but what I'm saying is, like, if in a working relationship or a sister-in-law or whatever, when there's no thought in your mind that you're gonna like ever want to fuck this person, you're fine with them. You're fine with talking to girls that way. You're saying more in kind of like say, you know, you and your friend gets married, go to a bachelor party, you're all hanging out, and there's a girl at the bar, and you're just kind of, you know, lined up with her to talk.
Right.
You have no idea what to say.
Basically.
Well,
I'm pretty much with her. I talk to comic friends that are girls. I talk to like fans at shows, whatever. But once it comes like that level, the conversation hits a level of depth where it's like, oh fuck, I used to crush it right here,
right?
And I can't remember
and
what.
now you're not making eye
contact. So do you like stuff?
You just
I'm just not trying to fuck because I'm happy with my wife.
I don't think just because you can fuck. The point of you getting married is because you don't want to lose your attractiveness. So you don't ever lose that. You don't ever stop sharpening those tools, the ability to be attractive, because that's the thing that the same reason why she found you attractive and she's with you is the same reason why this woman finds you attractive. So you don't cut that off. That's actually the thing that keeps her attracted to you. So if you cut that off, then you're changing. There's a thing I say: a woman falls in love with you for everything that you are. She spends the rest of the relationship trying to change you into everything that you're not. If she succeeds, she will dump you for the guy who is what you were when she met you.
What the fuck? How do you remember this?
Yeah. I get that. That was pretty easy to follow.
That was amazing.
Do you take flirt, like if you are to flirt with another woman, do you feel as if you're being shitty to your wife by doing that? Like,
yes.
Just knowing that you can fuck another girl and that's the way you're talking to her, like you feel guilty just
100%.
Me too.
Yeah, because I was a complete douchebag until I met my wife.
You don't have to be a douchebag. And why do you think you're a douchebag? Because what? Because you fucked women and they wanted to fuck you?
Basically, or told them we were going to be in a relationship and we weren't going to.
Yeah, so you was a dirtbag.
Yeah,
but I think that the most attractive thing is the authenticity of. So just because a woman is attracted to you, you just don't fuck her. You could just not fuck her. But the fact that other women find you attractive is what your wife is going to find attractive you on an instinctual level.
Can we ask that of a thing? Because Christine Like, I think you've expressed before that you like that if you see that other girls like want to fuck me after shows or something like that. You like that for sure.
No woman wants a guy who nobody wants to fuck.
But she also doesn't. But I say Christine does give the space, though. I mean, even if she comes over, I think also because we're on the radio together and people kind of hear what it is like our lives.
Yeah, but I'll kind of sit back and let it happen. And if it's going too far, like there's been times outside the cellar where I just start kind of like bullshitting with Liz about it as it's happening.
Right.
Because I don't, we also have a different kind of relationship where that it just kind of has to be okay.
Right. Yeah, but even if it's not okay, a woman that knows that other women will fuck your man is why she's fucking with you.
Well, I want guys that want to fuck Christine.
Right. I think that I've probably become a more
conversely too. Yeah.
I think I've become almost like a more flirtatious woman being in a relationship, just kind of outwardly in life, because I just kind of feel like I can do it without it needing to lead anywhere.
Sure. So just like a whore and leaves her phone in a fucking Sixers game.
And I've actually said, like, with things like if I have a party I need to go to, I'd prefer to wear like a suit if I'm not with Jay. If I'm with Jay, it's like I'd prefer to wear like a dress.
Sexy, and
but I'd rather wear like pants and a suit.
Is Jay dating that bold dyke in a suit over there?
Patrice,
who's that? The Great Gatsby or it's Christine?
Jay's girlfriend was such a big Eurythmics fan.
Is this the Sting?
A suit with like a bustier.
Hey, did Lily Tomlin just walk in? I can't see so good.
Or, a nice blazer. But I'll dress like a whore around Jay. Like,
Christine,
when we go
if
on
your
these
clit's not
cruises
hanging
and
out,
stuff,
you don't go to no fucking
parties.
parties. What do I tell you? You let your clit hang out at the party. I think I agree with you, Dante, on that very much, though. I think, so I don't think you have to stop. I mean, look, you have to, unless your fear is that you don't have kind of the trigger where you can be flirty and have fun with stuff like that, and then have a spot where you can cut it off, and you don't want to go further than that.
Right.
I think that if you're worried about that, that's something you could.
But we're talking about is the thing that makes you attractive is your credibility in the first place, and so that if you're authentically saying I'm married and I'm happy and I'm faithful, then be that. If you can't be that, then you're not authentic anyway, and you probably shouldn't be married anyway. Right. So my point being is, women in general, on an instinctual level, women look at the guy who other women find attractive, and they go, well, "What's the deal? What's with him?" And they find you attractive, and your wife should do that. She should never be so comfortable that she just go fucking do something. She should be like, these chicks somebody wants to fuck him.
Right.
And what I'm saying,
got to keep her game up.
I'm saying it becomes harder for me to interact now because I've spent my entire life trying to get fucked, and now I'm not. So now it's like,
but you still could flirt and you still converse and stuff. Just don't promise them that you're gonna have a relationship because you're married. I mean,
I mean, a girlfriend, like Mike's wife. Christine, my ex-wife, for the longest time, like they can't be with you all the time. Right. So Christine does know she's sending me out into a situation where there's like, and I don't want to keep using me and her as an example because I think that we have a unique thing. But Mike, we have a unique thing. But Mike, I think, is more like your standard practice, how it's supposed to be. Your wife wouldn't want you fucking on the road.
Well, right, yeah,
but she does. Well, I mean, you essentially live away from her, so she spends most of her nights sitting there like. Pussy could get whipped at Mike. And he doesn't like.
Well, there's an analogy I use. It's like if you have seen somebody do a garage sale. You have a garage sale, you take all your shit out of the garage and you put it on the lawn, right? And when you have to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. You don't sit there and go, somebody's going to steal the junk that was in my in my garage that I was going to throw away anyway. So, but the stuff that's valuable, you keep it in the house and you keep it in the safe because it's valuable. So if your wife is so comfortable that she could just leave you on the lawn, she probably doesn't love you. And the relationship is falling apart. And I'm not saying that she can't be confident. I'm just saying she needs to understand that you have value and that other people see your value and that they want you, and that is what validates the fact that she sees value in yourself.
Right.
And that's just. I
don't want to get you in trouble, Mike, but just so you know, your wife Valerie, the truck driver, is on the phone.
Oh, hi, Pumpkin.
Hey, Pumpkin.
Oh shit!
I want to take Valerie truck driver's call, but I do want to hear what you say about this. Kevin in Florida would like to know, How can I get my pregnant wife to let me eat her box? I'm sure that's probably a quick fix. Kevin, you're on the bonfire.
Yes, sir. What it do? Crackle, crackle.
Crackle, crackle, dude. That's a great question. How do I get my pregnant wife to let her eat her box? You know what you do? Ask her, like, yell it into her pussy if you can, and then listen back like a seashell and tell her that you heard the baby go, it's fine. I'm far enough back.
Yell it. Everything's okay in here, Pop.
Do it from behind.
Christine!
She's probably self-conscious about her belly.
That's going to make it hang down even weirder.
Yell into her box, I want to speak to my son!
Give me back my son!
How pregnant is she?
She's like 6 months pregnant, and I'm telling you, I don't know if it's a primal thing or what, but she just looks so fucking hot to me. I just want to munch that monkey.
That's science. That's science too, though, right? That's supposed to happen. The glow. They get the glow.
Sure, she's got the glow. Well, there's a few. I mean, look, if she's uncomfortable with the fact that is that what it is? Is that she's uncomfortable with it because
just like with the pregnancy and everything, she's just like kind of not feeling it. She's like, there's all kinds of shit going on down there. Blah blah blah. I mean, she lets me fuck. She'll suck my dick, but
she's probably worried she's gonna
let
fart.
me eat the shit.
Well, I mean, look, if she's uncomfortable with it, you kind of have to take that into consideration if she's uncomfortable with it. But what I would say is a lot of times when you people are in relationships and you get guys and they're in situations where, well, how do I get my wife to do this? What's interesting about that is everything that you did to your wife before, you knew how to do it. Like there was things that led to you being able to eat her box or to fuck her on the hood of the car or fuck her in the alley or any of those things that she was doing. And what happens if you take stock
If you fucked her in the alley, she wouldn't be pregnant.
Hell! Shit, baby.
It was the woods.
If you think about the things that turned her on and the things that you did, the little things, the subtle things, like, because when we're chasing pussy, we're willing to do whatever we need to do. We're very, we pay attention to the details, and what happens is then when you get somebody, you stop paying attention to the details. So you don't get to, if you want to be captain of the ship, you have to drive it at all times. You don't ever get a rest. Right. It's like saying if you could take off in a marriage is just like saying, can I take a nap during driving on the highway? You're either going to drive and be man in the house and be this guy who directs the energy or not. So I would imagine that there are things that you could do that have always turned her on that you don't do anymore because of the fact that you're comfortable with the relationship. I don't know whether it's flowers or smacking her on the butt. And if you do those things, you might be surprised at how that brings her back into the same place she was before she was pregnant.
It sounds like he's fawning over somebody. I have a question, Kevin. Are you jacking it now to like pregnant porn? It's out there.
If I come across pregnant porn while I'm jacking it, trust me, I ain't switching the channel.
Oh, so it's her. It's just her. He's attracted
so you switch the channel, so you think it's normally an odd thing.
It's just into her. He's into the fact that she's pregnant and he's turned on by that.
How are you asking her? Are you saying I want to munch that monkey, or are you going, you're so beautiful?
You should write that in a poem.
Well, no. I mean, it's obviously like we're hooking up, and that's like one of the stages in it that I'll try to get to, and she just isn't feeling it. And it's obviously because she's pregnant, and I understand that, but from what Dante's saying, it sounds like I just need to lace up the bootstraps and get my pimp game strong again.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know how to do it. You've done it. That's why you got her pregnant. The thing is, we just forget those things, and we don't. The other thing is, she might. I mean, all of a sudden, because she's pregnant, you might be a little softer because you feel that she's pregnant. When she might just, I mean, if she likes it aggressive and she wants you to just look, and she goes, wait, no, you just. Like, move your hand.
Yeah.
Move your hand out the way.
I had a girl tell me once that the reason why she didn't like me going down on her was because she was...
You're terrible at it?
Because I'm terrible at it.
All teeth? Braces.
She said she said that gap in your teeth keeps getting my clit stuck in it.
Like your side tooth in it, like the cigar?
I kept George Burns in her.
Yeah.
No,
hey, good night, Ray.
She's like, oh, like, whatever, at whatever time of the day, like, she's gassy, felt like she was in a fucking fart, or like, shit, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, alright, so you're worried about your fucking butt stinking. Sometimes there's just anatomical things, you know? Like, maybe maybe as a pregnant girl, she's like, I might shit. Like, I don't know. Are do pregnant women like just
but
blow
if
diarrhea
if
weird
you're-
times?
Look, I remember fucking with this chick, and I had I was jamming a butt plug in her, and when I pulled it out, it was a little shitty.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's where poop belongs.
Yeah, right. But the thing is, it's what Jay said. You can't wince with that. You just take it and throw it off the bed. Just you know what I mean.
I'm saying it might be her like inhibitions.
Yeah, but she's
you don't mind a shitty butt plug.
Yeah, but she's
a chocolate pacifier.
But she's really going. I don't want to shit on the bed in front of you. Do you know what I mean?
Christine took a hot dump on my leg the other day.
Are you serious?
In defense,
you know what?
We were playing a dangerous game of where that can happen.
Here we go.
He didn't even blink.
Of course.
By the way, if she left a fucking floater in the toilet, I'd go out and yell at her that what's wrong with her. But in the moment of that, I was like, it wasn't her fault. It wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was letting me go for the 5-hole. What are you gonna do? Complain about that?
it, man.
Yeah, she wiped me down like a baby,
Which was the best part.
And got back in the game.
That's it. So, and I think a lot of times women they're looking at you, they're looking at and they're looking at what your response is more than it is. And when you don't give I had a chick first time I fucked her on her period. And
like
and
a gentleman.
And she was like, I got my period. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I didn't even say I don't give a I was like, right. And I go, that's why we have red sheets. And I put it on the bed. And then after we fucked,
you're like, oh bitch, you bled everywhere. Shitty guy stuff. The fuck, it's everywhere. You slob.
So she was laying there, and she went to get up, and then she was gonna waddle to the bathroom. I go, stay there. And I went and got a basin with hot soapy water, and I washed her down and cleaned her up and then covered her up, and she was like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, what the hell? When you put her in swaddling clothes, you went out and made steel cups
and I
of
wrapped her
oatmeal?
feet like a geisha.
You put her in a basket and sent her down a river.
Before we go to breaks, I think it's just a compliment. Maybe it's a question, but when we come back, I want to talk to Johnny from Texas, who says your advice to Lou is wrong. So it'd be fun to hear a conflicting opinion there. But we have to get to her. Valerie, truck driver.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Valerie.
Hey, Val.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Crackle, crackle.
Crackle, crackle.
Where you at on the open road?
Oh, right now I'm delivering to Toro in Beatrice, Nebraska.
What are you hauling?
Toro products.
Wow, okay.
that would be why you're.
That would totally make sense.
What if she was like hot dog buns?
Yeah, no. But I just wanted to say that, yes, confidence is a big thing. If you don't exude confidence, that's it. You're not going to even get any kind of play, no talk, no nothing. But there's a fine line between confidence and cocky.
And being a dick.
You can't come out.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I love a man with confidence. It doesn't matter what he looks like. If he comes in and he looks like he's taken over and running the room, even though he's not saying a fucking word,
yeah,
that's the man I'm wanting to hit.
That's what I'm
right there.
Yeah. Are you saying you're willing to drive to New York to fuck Jacob? Am I reading this right?
No, because Jacob is not my kind of guy personally. Because he doesn't sound
White?
like he's a. No,
doesn't have a
color
CDL.
Doesn't matter.
He doesn't have a CDL.
That doesn't matter.
Valerie, why don't you come to Brooklyn and let me knock the dust off that?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I feel like Dante's more your type of guy.
Because he's cocky now. He's coming at me the wrong way.
I don't know if it's cocky to assume that 9.5 inches will knock the dust off of anything in my house.
See, and just because he's got a big swinging ding-a-ling doesn't mean he knows how to run that either.
Oh, she's calling you out, Dante.
shit.
No, by the way, that means she wants it. She wants it, though. Oh, Dante, go dress up like a whore and be a lot lizard when Valerie pulls in the port. At a Roy Rogers, you just scoop her up and drill her out in that cab.
Hang out by a truck stop shower.
What woman doesn't want a confident man who understands?
Sure.
Because especially you get somebody like Valerie, she's driving trucks. What does she want to do but have an opportunity to be a woman and be with a guy who can drive for her, where she can sit in the passenger seat and just let him drive? The difference is a woman they don't mind relinquishing the control with somebody who they feel comfortable with, that they can trust, and they'll let you drive.
The passenger seat of life.
Is that you agree with that, Valerie? That's good, man.
Yes, I do.
Nice. It's nice to hear a female voice. Dan, nice to hear a female voice agreeing with you. I feel you. I feel you could probably get combative a lot at first.
Yeah.
I think you have to defend, or at least I shouldn't say defend is the wrong word. Explain your point, probably.
Sure.
To
Because initially, the thing is always to be offensive and be defensive.
And
about
also
it.
it's like taking that moment of patience when you are confident but not cocky,
right?
And you let other guys ruin it for themselves, and then you can go up and be that confident dude that's not a piece of shit and be like, those guys are hand jobs.
Sure. We're gonna take our last break. Valerie, thanks for the call. We don't take the call, but Cody in Illinois wants us to know he went down on his wife. She farted in his mouth. He kept going. Cody, that's called welcome to being a fucking adult, my friend. God
That's
bless.
what men do.
God bless you.
adulting.
We'll come back. We'll talk to Johnny in Texas. We're hanging out with Dante Nero, Mike Fenoya. It's the Bonfire. Hey there, campers. We're starting a new segment on the Bonfire. What are you banging to? We're asking listeners to send us video or audio of you getting it on. Gay, straight, twosome, or threesome. We don't care, but it must have a movie or song in the background. I am the Father. Don't make it easy. We don't want to guess it right away. And no foreign films, please. We're average Joe movie buffs here. Whatever it is, let us find out. That was all capitals.
So make sweet love, campers, and play a movie while you're doing it.
Send your video or audio clips to the Bonfire at SiriusXM.com. The Bonfire at SiriusXM.com.
And now, back to the Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Oh, rest in peace, Craig Mack. Thank God you were in the middle of your own remix. How do you not let him close his own remix? He's supposed to come at the end and knock it out of the park.
Buster was the king then.
That's right. You couldn't stop him. On fire. It's the Bonfire, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. Hanging out with Mike Fenoya. Mike Fenoya's album, live in Burlington. Available on iTunes, and of course you can catch him April 20th at the Fairfield Comedy Club in Fairfield, Connecticut. They got to work on the name of that club, Mike. Sounds like a county fair you're going to be performing at.
It's a comedy club in Fairfield, Connecticut.
It's a tent. It's a tent. It's more of a sukkot, a sukkah. And we're hanging out with Dante Nero, who you can listen to, of course, on the Beige Phillips Show on iTunes. And Dan Soder. Whole bunch of stuff coming up. Go to dansoder.com for his dates at Helium in Buffalo, Thursday, April 5th through Saturday, April 7th. The season 3 of Billions premiere coming out Sunday, March 25th on Showtime. And, Bray Improv for me coming up a week from Sunday. We got Caroline's and Broadway coming up. Zany's in Nashville. Mike Fenoy will be joining me on that. We're going to be hanging out. This has been a fun fucking show so far,
Dante, man. It's so fun to listen to this.
Yeah, I miss you, bro. We don't really get to hang like we should. I always look at you and go, I should be fucking hanging out with that dude.
Well, let's
now
do
you
it.
have your new
Let's do it, man.
Now that you've started your new podcast, Dante Fixes Jacob, which will be premiering on Comedy Central Radio.
Jacob's Oil.
Jacob's
Yeah, we always have fun when we hang.
I have Johnny in Texas who says your advice to Lou is wrong. I don't know if it's combative.
It doesn't matter.
But it's he just says he thinks you have the wrong advice. Johnny, what's up? You're on the Bonfire, buddy.
Hey, thanks for listening to me. No, it's not so much Lou was getting specifically wrong advice, and I'm not being condescending. Just hear me out. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but Nero, just man, 99% of everything he said today is garbage.
Not trying to be. I love the condescension.
That's not true.
That's great.
I'm not trying to
be, but you suck.
But
yeah, whatever.
No, it's just it sounds like the senior in high school that dropped out and then he comes back and he keeps hanging around like the sophomores and juniors 2 years later.
You saying Dante's Matthew McConaughey?
I love those redheads.
All right.
I get older, they stay the same age.
All this nonsense garbage about keeping his tools sharp and everything just seems. Look, he talks about a woman wants a man that others want to fuck. If she's in love with it, she's not like, hey man, my man doesn't look good enough to fuck, I'm dropping his shit, or saying the thing. His attitude is just archaic and kind of cavemanish, and it's just very.
It's definitely primal to some degree, but I think there is a primal thing. Well, I'm going to let you defend yourself, obviously, but I'm saying I think there is a primal thing that comes out. It is the reason why the successful, maybe even in shape, good-looking businessman, it's not it's not uncommon. I'm not saying it's across the board, but you know, the hackneyed ideas of like she fucks the pool boy, and there's a kid across the street. I have friends in my life who have fucked like wealthy chicks who were married that the guy goes away and they just go over and fuck. So there definitely is like, there's definitely something too where it's like she will, even if you kind of have all these other things that she likes, she will if she loses like some sort of sexual respect for you.
And it sounds like she's married. He married a whore, is what it sounds like.
Dude, please. It's just these archaic things that you're saying because you probably didn't get laid that much, and you love somebody who really soon is probably gonna. If you have a girl, she's probably gonna fuck on you anyway. So let me explain to you what's really going down. In the context of man and women, we are still animals. You could deny that if you don't, but we're cognitive as well. So there are instinctual drives that have existed for the existence of human beings on this earth for 200,000 years. Men and women have been choosing each other in ways that have nothing to do with the cognizance of what they say and what they don't say. You have feminism
we
in the
last DJ Lou for his body.
If feminism exists in the last 60 years and women have been dictating, we should do this and we should do that and we should do this. And I'm not saying that there's not a cognitive level to attraction, but there is an instinctual level because we're still animals. And the problem is when we don't accept the fact that we're still animals and there's this instinctual bed, this visceral bed that exists that seeps through what I consider the social contract, which is monogamy, fidelity, and all those things that we've created. That is where the problem comes. The fact that we're not recognizing and we're not acknowledging the fact that there's the instinctual drives. And if you think
Dante, that's what gets you started in the relationship. I've been married. I know you're trying to simply dog me a little bit.
Nobody's dogging you. The one that said nothing I said was true.
I didn't get laid. And if I have a
you started that. You started that. You started that. You started shooting shots over the bow.
3 years and almost 34 years. And what I'm trying to get at is that instinctual level you're talking about is what the start of the relationship is from. You're right. She's got to look smoking hot for you to.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
That bitch is that.
That was not. Nobody said that. That's not what I. That's absolutely not what I said. That's not what I said.
To keep his tools sharp. That's not. If his wife doesn't find him attractive, she's going to take off.
That's not what I'm saying. Okay, here's what I'm saying. There's an instinctual aspect of it that always exists, and whether or not you deal with look, we as human beings, we have the ability to process meat protein. Now, if you decide to be a vegetarian, that's your choice, but you never lose your ability to process meat protein. What I'm saying is, if you deal with things on a cognitive level, you absolutely should. You can decide to be monogamous, but as human beings, we're not monogamous. As instinctually, we're not monogamous. We choose that. And if you want to check something out, read a book called Sex at Dawn by Christopher D. Ryan. He talks about the idea of possession and monogamy doesn't exist until 10,000 years into the evolution of 10,000 years back when we stopped when we started to farm and we stopped hunting and gathering, because there was no possession and no paternity until we put up posts in terms of this is my land. Paternity becomes important. This becomes my woman, because as a man, you have to provide for your offspring, because the true immortality is not heaven and all of that. The true immortality is moving your DNA to the next generation. So what we're talking about is science here. We're not talking about science, and I'm not saying you can't subscribe that, and your marriage might be great. It's an exception to the rule. That doesn't mean that those instinctual drives are not present. And just because you may be the exception to the rule, that's fine. Nobody's saying that's not the case. But there's no way you could tell me that women don't find those type of things attractive. If I walk
I'm not saying that they don't find them physically attractive, brother. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, I'm not saying that that's not the only thing involved. This here, Lou is saying absolutely that he loves his wife. He's faithful. He is providing. He is keeping her safe. He loves her. All of those things are
big black dick.
All of those things are just as important in terms of a relationship, especially when you're talking about the cognitive level of something like fidelity, monogamy, and marriage, which is a construct that we've created, a social construct that we've created as human beings on a cognitive level. That's all I'm saying.
Johnny, I'm going to let you talk too, but I want to ask, do you think your wife, you're married, correct?
Yeah, 30, almost 34 years.
34 years. You think your wife doesn't get a spark a little bit if she sees another girl at work is like, giving you a bit of an eye? Is that pure just like, I wish that wasn't happening, or is there some semblance of like, oh, that's pretty cool? Like to see that you've still got it yourself? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've never discussed it with her, and I'm not blowing you off. I've never discussed it with her. I don't know if that is true or not. I stay in shape. I call it my playing weight. I stay in my playing weight just because I like to, not because I want to look good for anybody, just because I'm 51 and I want to stay healthy.
That in itself is attractive. Is the fact that what you're saying is exactly what I'm talking about. Is that you understand what your value is. That's why you work out. That's why you stay in shape. That's all of those things are important, and you do that independent of her, which is what she finds attractive. So that's that's you keeping your tools sharp.
Dante, that is a completely selfish aspect of me. I do that 100%.
You better be selfish to a certain extent.
No, I think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying it's a selfish thing you do, but it's a thing that attracts her to you.
Yeah, but he was a heartthrob.
Well, we see where Jacob chimes in.
That's absolutely, it's a selfish thing, but
there's nothing wrong with that.
You have to take care of yourself. You have to put your happiness first, because as a credible man, what good are you as a man who doesn't have a wife that's happy? What good are you if you have children that are not fed and taken care of and safe? That is attached to your manhood. So if you don't put your happiness first, you won't be happy, because your woman's happiness is based on her emotional state at the time when you're talking to her. So whatever makes her happy right now, 5 minutes from right now, it's not going to be. So if you're running around chasing the dog like the dog chasing his tail, trying to make her happy and not recognizing, look, these are the reasonable things that make you happy, the safety and concern and all of those things, and even your sensitivity to understand when she needs you emotionally. We're talking about, when I was talking to Lou, we're talking about very surface, but those things go deeper than that. And that level of comfort that you give your wife because you look good, because you care about her, because she knows she can count on you, those are the things that take that relationship to the next level. We don't disagree at all.
It's like
I think you're focused on certain specific things that you find offensive that you're already doing without even knowing you're doing it.
Johnny, and I understand, by the way, I selfishly don't work out because when I get naked in front of Christine, I want her to see what she's worth. I want her to see this is what you deserve, Christine.
Dante, isn't a big part of the conversation really just both as men and as women, you shouldn't let yourself go just because you have a partner?
Sure, absolutely not.
That's just kind of like the big...
If he's in shape, other women find him attractive.
Because there's a lot of people that let themselves go in their partnerships.
All right, Christine. I've been 11 weeks on the road straight.
Does he not? You've gotten handsomer and handsomer.
We just bought a Dyson ball vacuum. You think that's free?
If he doesn't think that other women find him attractive because he's in shape, that's absurd.
Yeah.
And if you think that even if it's not on a cognitive level that she doesn't understand that you're attractive and you're in shape, and she says this guy has value, look at other women, because even if she's the most mature person in the world, we all have flaws, and we need to be reminded of the fact that that your partner has value, because it's easy to forget.
Right. That's very, very true.
100% true.
I think that happens a lot. You do have to step, but you have to be reminded once in a while.
You get complacent?
For sure. We just go, it's like, well, this other person has some pretty cool stuff going on too, but it's usually qualities you saw in the original person to begin with. I think that's true. Johnny, thanks so much for the call, buddy.
Good to talk to you guys. Bye-bye.
Absolutely, man. Take care, brother. We have to. I don't know if we need to take the call. Do you remember this guy? There's a Q in Ohio who says you helped him keep his. This is a good testimony for you. Dante helped me keep my lady after I got my side chick knocked up. Yeah, Dante, that might be your wizardry work right there, my friend. That's a hard one to explain. No, you don't understand. You don't understand. Something else was going on. I was showing you my value. I put some. I just didn't pull out before I put I left too much value inside that chick. I left 20% of my Bitcoin in that broad.
I'll tell you something that I firmly believe, that a woman never leaves a guy because he cheats.
Q's on the line. Q, you're on the line, right?
Good.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, brother? You're on with Dante. We're reminding Dante about what he did here, so he was explaining to us.
Well, I was going to say I feel like I'm not out of the woodwork yet, because it's always a work in progress.
Yeah,
out of the woods. you gotta, I got it straightened out to where things are going in the right direction. But if my credibility slips up and I don't stick, because I lay down some shit, let her know what was what and where we are going from here.
Your voice doesn't strike me as the guy to be going through. It sounds like you run a propane tank store. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just forgot to pull out.
I feel like he's running a 2-minute offense in a Madden game right now.
Q, did we actually talk or no, Q?
Yeah, we did a session a couple weeks ago. Okay. It was you was laid up for a minute.
Yeah.
And we got up.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, is the side chick having the baby?
I love how you asked.
Oh yeah.
This baby's
I'm a black
being born.
Dude, man. Yeah, my shit's strong, man. I can't.
He said my shit's
strong. How is she supposed to know? Number one,
I take pride in my seed. When it was going through, I'm like,
having the baby, and you're still with your main girl. Do you have kids with your main girl?
Yeah, we got 2.
How old are they?
5 and 10.
Are you going to introduce?
Coming in?
Are you going to introduce your main babies to your side baby?
Of course. They're brother and sister.
I mean, they're not strangers.
I love his voice so much.
And it's confident.
What do you want me to tell you?
And are the girls going to get to know each other?
Darlene, and I have super strong sperm.
I kill werewolves.
I can kill werewolves.
That's still up to debate. I don't know what's going to work, but really the only way it's going to work is if I move back and forth how I want to, and they just go with the flow.
So you want to be in both relationships?
I'm not gonna the way I parent is, for me, I can't do the handoff. So the way I parent, I have to have a good rapport with the girl. I'm not saying I'm going to be up there smashing her, but if she want to go to the mall, if we want to go out to dinner or something like that, I can't not parent like that, because that's just how I've always done it.
Is that what you call hand jobs?
Go to the mall. Go to the mall. One of the things that I would say is one of the things when we talk about male credibility is, if you have children, you got to take care of your children.
Yeah.
That's not a choice. Yeah. So we're all flawed.
Unfortunately, it is.
And
sometimes it is a fucking
choice. You're right. But what I'm saying is, in terms of your credibility, if you make these kids, I would never advocate that you should not. Your first priority is to take care of those kids. They didn't ask to come here, and that's your responsibility. You got to do that. And whether or not you're with the girl or not, that has to be the first priority.
The wizardry of that, I guess, is Q, if you could work out, because that's a weirder situation. So Christine and my ex Carla get along very well. And Christine was like after that, so it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't. No one's got to get used to a new baby in that regard. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't going like, hey, this is Christine, by the way, and she's pregnant. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but I want to stay with you, Carla. But just so you know, I'm gonna be kicking it a lot with Christine.
I wasn't exactly being righteous and doing what I did
in the first place, right?
But
I remember
this call. This chick. Yeah. You know how you have your one, and then you kind of got your roster that you can go to if you really wanted to. Well, I pull one of those, and then
this dude's fucking
so since
ridiculous.
it's not a skeezer, so since it's not like a skeezer, I can't tell her to go get an abortion, because I care about the person. And if I told her to get an abortion, and then let's say, for instance, me and my baby mama don't work out in the end. Now I got, that skeleton hanging on our conscience that we deaded this baby because of some problems that was in our relationship that, it could have worked, it could have been like a cool thing for me to have a child with this person, because this relationship I'm in fell apart anyway.
Yeah, you can take over the factory.
Q, you are supplying us with a future all-star team of Circle K managers.
Yeah, honest to God.
Q, thanks for the call. I'm glad Dante was able to help you. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for calling the Bonfire.
Works, man.
Wow,
I'm a
what
big
a
fan of all you guys.
Thank you so
brother.
much, man. Ooh, the flavor's in the ear. Dante, thanks so much,
That
man,
was
for
nuts.
hanging out. That show fucking flew by. Of course, listen to Dante on the Beige Phillips Show on iTunes. Dante, what other stuff? If people want to reach out to you and get a hold of you for these consults. You do one-on-one consultations.
Yeah, call DanteNero.com. You just click on consult and you can book time with me.
Fantastic.
DanteNero, Dante Nero. Make sure you check that out. It's great. Fanoia, his album live in Burlington, available
Money
on
Mike.
iTunes. You catch Money Mike on the road April 20th at the Fairfield County Pig Whistle and
It's a
the Fairfield Comedy Club in Fairfield, Connecticut. And Austin, Texas, we're coming to Moon Tower. A lot of fun stuff coming up there. I think I'm singing out there. I'm going to be singing on Monday, the 26th, in L.A. at a sold-out Roxy.
That's a sick lineup.
It's unbelievable. Jim Jeffries, Bill Burr,
Maron.
myself, Mark Maron, all at the goddamn Comedy Jam. We'll be doing goddamn Comedy
is
Jam
a
also.
banger.
It was great. Also doing Comedy Jam, I believe, in Moon Tower. But we're going to be doing Bonfire Friday, April 20th, 7 p.m. at Antone's. Make sure you check that out. And for all Soder's dates, go to dansoder.com. For my dates, obviously, bigjcomedy.com. And do me a favor, everybody. Enjoy the Lost Tapes tomorrow. This is the last live show of the week, so thank you guys so much for being here.
Always
I love you
fun.
both, man.
Love you too, bud.
Dear friends of mine, Dante,
Love you,
I've been
brother.
friends with for 17, 18 years,
Yeah, man.
It's absolutely crazy.
So dope.
So I think I got the wink you were giving me all night. I'm going to go start hitting Christine again. I think
I'm
we learned
moving
something
back
important
in.
here. Yeah. You shit on my thigh? Yeah. DJ Lou, Black Lou, Jacob, we'll all be back next week for you guys before we do our LA run. It's going to be fun. So you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the Lost Tapes.
Love you, campers.
We'll catch you next week. It's the Bonfire.
Easy.
Crackle.